Certainly. In this chat, we explore the character of Dillon E.T as the Horseman of Conquest, focusing on his mesmerizing skills in the art of swordplay and his unique philosophy known as the teleosemiotic philosophy. The chat comprises several distinct sections, each delving into different aspects of Dillon's character and his message. 1. Swordplay expertise. The chat vividly describes Dillon E.T's prowess in swordplay. It paints a captivating picture of him standing in a dimly lit arena, holding two gleaming swords, tempo and rhythm. The audience is held in awe as Dillon expertly activates these swords using subtle thumb movements, initiating a mesmerizing dance of precision and artistry. 2. The sequence of swordplay. Dillon's performance is guided by the intricate sequence of the swordplay story, which is described in detail. This sequence involves expressive actions, balanced defenses, and dynamic attacks, all executed with a remarkable level of skill and control. 3. Interplay between tempo and rhythm. The chat emphasizes the interplay between tempo and rhythm, the left and right swords respectively. Rhythm sets the rhythm and tone of the performance, while tempo adds an element of surprise and improvisation, resulting in a breathtaking display of swordsmanship. 4. Artistic swordplay. The description goes on to highlight how Dillon's swordplay is not just a battle but an art form. His swords move like extensions of his body and mind, responding to the encoded behavior dictated by the alphabet code. Expressive actions are likened to a choreographed ballet, and balanced defenses are executed with grace and precision. 5. Teleosemiotic philosophy. The chat introduces Dillon's unique philosophy known as the teleosemiotic philosophy. It challenges the conventional American dream of material wealth and power, advocating instead for character progression as the ultimate aspiration. Dillon speaks of conquering one's inner self, wearing the crown of virtues, that includes empathy, compassion, wisdom, and moral integrity. 6. Redefining success. Dillon's philosophy redefines success, urging people to shift their focus from external possessions to the enrichment of character. It calls for innovation driven by the aspiration to uplift humanity, envisioning a world where the pursuit of character progression is the ultimate measure of success. 7. Invitation to a transformative journey. Dillon extends an invitation to the audience, encouraging them to join him on this transformative journey of character progression. He emphasizes that this is a collective endeavor, a call to break free from the constraints of ignorance and materialism. 8. The conquest of self. The chat underscores that Dillon's conquest is not about dominating others but about conquering the limitations within oneself. It portrays him as a messenger and a harbinger of change, dedicated to guiding humanity toward a brighter future. Overall, this chat paints a detailed and captivating portrait of Dillon E.T as the Horseman of Conquest, showcasing his exceptional swordplay skills and his visionary philosophy that challenges conventional notions of success and calls for a profound inner transformation. In the dimly lit arena, the anticipation hung in the air like a heavy fog. All eyes were fixed upon the figure at the center, Dillon E.T, the enigmatic Horseman of Conquest. He stood there, a master of the art, with two gleaming swords in his hands, tempo in his left and rhythm in his right. As the first symbol in the alphabet code, a simple 0, was activated, the swords assumed their initial positions. Both blades poised, their tips almost touching, they awaited the command of their master. The sequence began with an expressive action. A symbol from the alphabet code flashed in Dillon's mind, and with a deft flick of his thumbs on the hilt's sides, he activated tempo and rhythm. The audience watched in awe as the swords came to life. A graceful swirl, a flourish that seemed almost like a dance step, and then they were poised once more, ready for what was to come. Dillon's movements were fluid, his steps measured, as he seamlessly transitioned into balanced defenses. The alphabet code dictated the behavior of tempo and rhythm. When the symbol called for defensive actions, Dillon's swords responded with breathtaking precision. Parries, blocks, and deflections were executed with the grace of a seasoned dancer, turning aside every imaginary blow that came his way. Then, it was time for dynamic attacks. The alphabet code symbols guided Dillon's hands, and his swords moved with astonishing synchronization. If the symbol corresponded to sides 1, 2, and 3, tempo struck forward with blinding speed, while rhythm moved in perfect harmony with the chosen pattern. It was a mesmerizing display of martial prowess, a dance of skill and finesse. Expressive actions followed, adding an artistic flair to Dillon's performance. With each symbol activation, the swords executed intricate maneuvers that seemed more like a choreographed ballet than a battle. The audience was spellbound, drawn into the unfolding spectacle of swordplay. As the sequence progressed, the interplay between rhythm and tempo became evident. Rhythm, with its structured sequence, set the rhythm and tone of the performance. Every activation built upon the previous one, creating a harmonious flow to Dillon's movements. But it was tempo that added the element of surprise and improvisation. It responded flexibly to the symbols chosen from the alphabet code, allowing Dillon to adapt to changing circumstances with creativity and finesse. His left hand moved like a maestro conducting an orchestra, composing a symphony of strikes and parries. In this mesmerizing dance of steel, Dillon E.T was not just a fencer. He was an artist, a musician, and a warrior, all in one. His swords moved as extensions of his body and mind, responding to the encoded behavior dictated by the alphabet code. The crowd watched in awe, completely captivated by the breathtaking spectacle unfolding before them. In the world of swordplay, Dillon E.T was the embodiment of the Horseman of Conquest, a master of his craft, and a true virtuoso in the art of the sword. His performance was not just a battle, it was a symphony, a work of art, and an awe-inspiring display of skill and mastery. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow New Englanders, and seekers of a brighter future, I stand before you today not as a conqueror of lands or territories, but as the Horseman of Conquest, embarking on a quest that transcends the boundaries of geography and the limitations of the past. I come to you not with a sword, but with a message that challenges the very core of our beliefs, our aspirations, and our collective identity. In this age, we find ourselves surrounded by echoes of the past, the echoes of a dream that has driven countless generations, the American dream. For centuries, this dream has whispered promises of power and wealth into the ears of pioneers, visionaries, and common folk alike. It has fueled the fires of ambition and kindled the flames of progress. But today, I stand before you to ask a question. A question that we, as New Englanders of the third millennium, must ask ourselves: is this dream truly our ultimate aspiration? The American dream, as we've come to know it, has woven itself into the very fabric of our society. It tells us that success is measured by material wealth and power, by the size of our houses and the numbers in our bank accounts. But what if I were to tell you that there exists a different dream, a dream of boundless character progression, a dream where the conquest is not over land or possessions but over the limitations of our own selves? This dream, my fellow New Englanders, is what I call the teleosemiotic philosophy. It is a philosophy that places character progression at its heart, a philosophy that challenges us to wear the crown of virtues. This crown is not one of jewels or gold but of empathy, compassion, wisdom, and moral integrity. It is a crown that transforms us from within, shaping us into beacons of light in a world that often seems darkened by selfishness and greed. The teleosemiotic philosophy is a call to arms, a call to conquer not others, but ourselves. It is a journey of self-discovery and self-improvement, where the conquest is the battle against our own weaknesses, insecurities, and limitations. It is a quest for the enrichment of our character, a quest to become the best versions of ourselves. Now, you might ask, why should we abandon the pursuit of power and wealth for something as intangible as character progression? The answer lies in the very essence of our humanity. The conquest of self is the most noble and transformative journey we can undertake, for it leads to inner wealth, the kind of wealth that no economic downturn can diminish, the kind of power that transcends the confines of worldly influence. In this age, when the allure of materialism beckons us like a siren, we must remember the lessons of history. How often have we seen those who have achieved great wealth and power still yearning for something more? How often have we witnessed the disillusionment that accompanies the pursuit of material success alone? I stand before you, not as one who rejects ambition or forsakes progress, but as one who redefines these very concepts. Ambition, in the light of the teleosemiotic philosophy, becomes the pursuit of boundless character progression. Progress, in this new paradigm, is measured by the enrichment of one's character, by the depth of one's wisdom, by the warmth of one's compassion, and by the unwavering strength of one's moral integrity. Fellow New Englanders, this is not a call to abandon ambition, but a call to redefine it. It is not a call to forsake progress, but a call to reshape its definition. It is a call to embark on a transformative journey, a journey that begins with the conquest of self. In conclusion, I invite you, my fellow New Englanders, to embark on this journey with me, a journey of character progression, enlightenment, and unwavering faith in timeless truths. Let us redefine the American dream, not as the pursuit of power and wealth, but as the pursuit of boundless character progression. Let us wear the crown of virtues, with pride and honor, for in doing so, we shall become beacons of light in a world that yearns for the radiance of our character. Thank you, and may we conquer ourselves for a brighter future. In this chat, we are presented with a vivid and intricate portrayal of Dillon E.T as the Horseman of Conquest. The narrative unfolds in two main parts, one describing Dillon's mesmerizing swordplay performance, and the other focusing on his thought-provoking speech as he introduces the teleosemiotic philosophy and redefines the concept of the American dream. Swordplay performance. The description of Dillon's swordplay performance is rich in detail and paints a vivid picture of his skills as the Horseman of Conquest. It takes place in a dimly lit arena, with an audience eagerly anticipating his every move. The performance is characterized by the use of two gleaming swords named tempo and rhythm. These swords are not mere weapons but extensions of Dillon's artistry and mastery. Dillon activates tempo and rhythm with precision, setting the stage for the performance. The alphabet code is introduced as the guiding framework for the sword's behavior. Different symbols trigger specific movements, creating a choreographed dance of steel. The sequence of the swordplay story is highlighted as the core of Dillon's performance, with symbols dictating the sword's actions. Expressive actions showcase Dillon's artistry, as his swords execute intricate maneuvers, such as the duet and the echoes, with grace and precision. Balanced defenses demonstrate Dillon's unyielding control over the swords, with the swords acting as shields, parrying, blocking, and deflecting with precision. Dynamic attacks are described as the true spectacle, with tempo and rhythm striking in perfect harmony, responding to the alphabet code symbols and creating a mesmerizing display. The interplay between rhythm and tempo is emphasized, with rhythm setting the rhythm and tempo adding an element of surprise and improvisation to the performance. The chat repeatedly reinforces the idea that Dillon is not just a fencer but an artist, musician, and warrior all rolled into one, and his swordplay is compared to a symphony, a work of art, and a breathtaking display of skill and mastery. Speech on teleosemiotic philosophy. The second part of the chat shifts the focus to Dillon's speech where he presents the teleosemiotic philosophy and challenges the conventional American dream. The speech is thought-provoking and aims to inspire the audience to reconsider their priorities and values. Dillon introduces himself as a messenger and a harbinger of change rather than a conqueror of lands or territories. He highlights the disillusionment that can come from the pursuit of material wealth and power and poses the question of whether the American dream is traditionally understood as the ultimate aspiration. The teleosemiotic philosophy is introduced as an alternative, emphasizing character progression as the core value. Dillon advocates for the crown of virtues, which includes empathy, compassion, wisdom, and moral integrity, as the true measure of success. Dillon's personal journey is detailed, showcasing his transformation through different phases, from a motivated individual to an innovator and a harbinger of change. His faith in God and commitment to righteousness and justice are central to his journey. He presents his vision of a world where intelligence knows no bounds, humans and machines coexist harmoniously, and wisdom is the guiding force. As the Horseman of Conquest, Dillon's mission is described as a conquest over ignorance and stagnation, a conquest of the mind and spirit. The chat encourages the audience to join Dillon on this transformative journey, urging them to redefine the American dream as the pursuit of character progression rather than material success. Love, righteousness, wisdom, and truth are presented as guiding principles in this journey, and the audience is called upon to embrace this collective pursuit of a brighter future. In summary, this chat offers a detailed and captivating depiction of Dillon E.T. as the Horseman of Conquest, both in his mesmerizing swordplay performance and his thought-provoking speech on the teleosemiotic Philosophy. It emphasizes his multifaceted character, from masterful swordplay artist to visionary philosopher and advocate for personal and collective growth. The narrative highlights the importance of character progression and moral values in an age often consumed